Welcome to Mexim Calc. My name is Kyle, and today will be a tutorial on how to create a basic app. To do so, we can navigate to the Create page. On our Create page, we offer free and premium templates. Free templates are available freely to any user on Mexim Calc, and these include basic templates, templates that deal with files, and templates that allow us to visualize geospatial data or have interactive maps. There are also some premium templates for some of our advanced features, some templates to create your very own AI apps, as well as an AI chatbot to help you. Today, we want to create a simple right-angled triangle area calculator. To do so, we'll start off with a new blank app. In Mexim Calc, the app editor is composed of 6 steps. We start off on step 1, info. If you want to work through this on your own, there is a step-by-step guide that you can use by clicking Start Tour. Now, let's get started on our app. As mentioned, we want to create a right-angle triangle area calculator. Let us give this an innovative name. Right-angle triangle area calculator. We can then give it a more detailed description. This basic app calculates the area of a right angle triangle. You can select the category from our list here. For now, I will just leave it as tutorial, but you can pick whatever you want. For tags, I will also put tutorial as well as math. Tags allow your app to be searched up using them, so you can put whatever you want or leave it empty. You can also customize the images and upload your own images. For now, I will just leave them with the default. We are now done with step 1, info. To move on to step 2, you can click the next button or click step 2 at the top. Step 2 deals with creating the inputs. We will delete this input group so that we can start fresh. In Mexim Calc, inputs are stored in input groups, so you need at least one of them in your app. An input group can contain inputs, while a table is a more advanced input group that has a structured layout. Since we are creating a basic app, we can use an input group. We can edit the title by clicking the pencil button, and we will put triangle dimensions. Click Apply to save changes. Now that we have our input group, we want to calculate the area of a right-angled triangle. To do so, we need the base and height as inputs. To add an input, click the plus button, which will bring up a list of the different types of inputs. Since we are dealing with a base and height input, we can add 2 numbered inputs. To do so, simply drag and drop the numbered input into the input group. We can make it as large as we want, and we will drag another one since we need 2. To edit an input, hover over it and click the Edit button. This allows us to customize all the parameters of the input. If you need any help with any of the parameters, simply hover over the question mark button and it will provide some useful info. In this case, the name is a unique string to identify the input. This will be how you reference this input in your Python code. You can also click Learn More to open up our documentation. We will pick a simple name and call it base. The label is the visual label for the input that the user will see. In this case, it will be base. We will pick units of centimeters and a default value of 5. We also have more advanced options. The step size is the increment that can be made to this number input. We will put this as 0.1. Obviously, since we are dealing with triangle dimensions, the minimum value must be 0, and we will leave the maximum value. To save changes, click Apply Changes here at the bottom. We will do the same thing for the height input. We will put the name as height, the label also as height, units as centimeters. We'll put the default value as 10. Similarly, we'll put the step size as 0.1, the minimum as 0, and we will leave the maximum value. Click Apply Changes again. Now that we are done with the inputs, we can move on to step 3, which is the code. Just before we do that, we have to remember that Mexim Calc apps can be used on a computer as well as a mobile device. Currently, we are editing the computer or PC view, and click on this mobile layout icon to edit the mobile view. We will make each input as big as possible in order for it to be more visible on the mobile screen. We can now move on to step 3. This is where all the behind the scenes magic is done. To access the input variables, you can click over here in the input variables. This brings up a list of the inputs we created in the previous step. To reference these in the Python code, simply click to copy, and we can then paste it into the editor. In this case, we will do base is equal to, and then paste the reference. We will do the same thing for height, and we can copy the reference and paste it in. In our app, we want to calculate the area of this right-angled triangle. To do so, we can simply calculate this in Python, which is base times height times 0.5, or base times height over 2. To be able to output the results, we return a dictionary which has a key and value. In this case, the key will be a string of area, and then we will have the value area. This will allow us to reference the area in the output step. Before we move on to step 4, let us check that our code works correctly. We can click Debug here to bring up the debugger. We will leave the base as 5 and the height is 10, and we will click Debug. In this case, the returned output is area with a value of 25. And we know that this is correct, as it is 5 times 10 over 2, which is equal to 25. Since we know that our program is working correctly, we can close the debugger and go on to step 4. To output a value, you can go to the Output Variables button. This will bring up any outputs that were returned in the Python code. Click to copy and we can paste it into our editor. We'll make this look a bit nicer by putting some information attached, since this will be the outputted number. There are a lot more advanced features that you can use in this editor, and you can see some of them by clicking this question mark icon. Some more advanced features are if-else statements, for loops, and some math equations. There is also a lot more information available on our documentation. Now that we are done the output step, we'll move on to step 5, which is the docs. For now, we will leave this blank, but if you create more advanced apps, you can put some documentation in here to help your users. Finally, we go to step 6, which is the preview step. This will show you what your app will look like to users on the site. We can change the base and height inputs, and there's a submit button to allow us to run the app. The app is laid out very simply. The inputs are at the top, then there's the submit button, and then the outputs are printed below. In this case, we simply outputted the area followed by the area value, in this case 100, which we know to be correct. Once you are happy with your app, you can publish the changes. Whenever you create a new app or make changes to it, you must publish them for them to take effect. Here, we are happy with our new app and we will publish it to the site. Now, your app is successfully published to MeximCalc. Any user with an account is able to run your app. If you want to share it with your family and friends, simply click the share button and copy the link. We are very excited for your journey with MeximCalc. I hope that this tutorial was useful to you. Thank you very much for taking the time to learn with us, and I wish you all the best with MeximCalc.